In today's episode, I talk all about if you should host a giveaway to boost your following. Welcome to episode 75 of the Honest Entrepreneur Show. My name's Tom Ross, and let's get into it. Guys, I've been thinking lately about materialism. Don't ask me why. I think it was the other day on a live, someone said about like Lamborghinis. And so to prove a point, I ran out in the car park while I was on an Instagram live with Ian Barnard. And I was like, this is my car. And as Marco knows, because I drive him home sometimes after recording this, it's a piece of shit. And what I find is the more into my work I am and the more happy and passionate I am doing that, I care even less about that stuff. And I already care about it very little in the scheme of things, but the more wrapped up I am in my work, like the less time I have to worry about comparing, like if I have the same watch as the guy next to me or any of that nonsense. So I'm sure everyone watching and listening knows that stuff is nonsense, but if at all it causes you like any stress, then I think just throw yourself into your passions and your work, and it's a hell of a distraction away from all that bullshit that like materialistic commercial society rams down our throats from a very young age. So random tangent there. Let's get into the question.
This question is from Soraya. What do you think about running a giveaway to grow followers?
Hey Soraya, this is a very timely question. I literally had a call with, I'm not going to name her, but with quite a large established influencer on Instagram earlier. And we were talking about exactly this. And my answer is, I hate giveaways for growth, and I'm going to break down exactly why. So how it works is people do a giveaway because they are paying attention to ultimately the vanity metrics. And if you go to my Instagram, you'll see I did a whole post about vanity metrics, but they are essentially things like website traffic, number of followers, etc., which are inherently quite controllable, and they don't matter as much as things like revenue and profit and real engagement from your audience. And case in point, people buy followers, right? All the time. People literally pay for bots and fake followers to follow them, to inflate their following size, to massage their ego, or kind of attempt to look legit or whatever, trick companies into paying them for ads as an influencer, whatever their motivation is. And it's not as bad as doing that, but I think running a contest to inflate your likes is a pretty shitty way of growing a following. And the reason is, when you do this, the people that follow you are primarily following you not because they want to and because they appreciate your content. They're doing it to try and win the iPad or the book or your time or whatever it is you're giving away. They're doing it for the wrong motivations. And so I also talk about this a lot. When you look, I'm doing a triangle with my hands for anyone listening, not watching to this right now. I talk about this triangle a lot. At the wide part at the top, you've got your whole audience. And at the narrow bit at the bottom, you've got your true fans. These are the people who buy everything you put out, comment and engage on everything, love and support you. They are the people you should be trying to grow. And what you're essentially doing is, by doing something like a giveaway, you are growing the top of this triangle. You're growing the overall number of followers, but because these are people who are there for an iPad, not there because they love you and want to support your content potentially, you're basically watering down and diluting your following. And what this means is there are very tangible repercussions, because Instagram then starts to penalize you. Because let's say before you did this giveaway, right? Let's say you've got 10,000 followers on Instagram, and then you do the giveaway and suddenly you jump to 50,000. And the initial result of this is, oh my God, this works so well. This feels great. My following is 5 times bigger than it used to be. Fantastic. And then what happens is your engagement doesn't really move. You get the same number of likes, you get the same number of comments on your posts, but suddenly you've got 50,000 followers, not 10,000. So you start to feel confused and you think, what gives? I thought all these new followers would lead to more engagement. What's happening? Turns out there's 40,000 new followers. They don't really care about what you're putting out. They're just there for the iPad. And now they're kind of dead wood, just sat on your following in your audience, just taking up valuable space. And then Instagram starts to kick in with the algorithm. So it now recognizes that previously you had, 5% of your audience that were actually engaging with your content on a regular basis. Now that's 0.5%. And so it automatically presumes that your content is poorer, that it's worse quality than it is, because it's seeing a tiny amount of your audience actually care enough to engage. So suddenly the algorithm kicks in there and it limits the organic reach more than it might have. So now, even out of your engaged people, less of them are seeing your content. It's getting shown less in the discovery section. It's reaching less potential people. So actually it's hurting you. So now you've got this big fancy looking follower number, but actually it's done nothing but hurt your business and limit your reach to the people you do want seeing it. And it can be hugely damaging. And I'm saying this from experience because we did exactly this with our Design Cuts Instagram. Our previous social media manager ran, I think, 3 or 4 giveaways in a short space of time and exploded our following from like very low. It was like a couple of thousand, and we got it up to like 10 or 15,000, which back then was a big number to us. And we went through exactly that process. We initially felt elated, then we felt confused, and then we felt, oh no, what have we done? And again, I'm definitely not going to name her, but the person I had the call with earlier, she's got well over 200,000 followers. And she actually said, I can't go back now. She said, I've done this through giveaways. My engagement is relatively very low as a ratio to these followers. I can feel it hurting me. And now I can't undo it. It's not like I can remove those followers that don't really want to be there. They just kind of sit there and hurt my brand. And so she was actually regretful. And if she had her time over, she wouldn't have done the giveaways that she used to propel her audience. So yeah, that would be my answer. You can tell I'm pretty passionate about this. I talk all the time, quality over quantity. You want the true fans. You want the engaged people. Have some patience. You can't shortcut it. You can't trick or pay or entice people to go and sign up in such an overt way. Where it's like, get the iPad in exchange for a follow. It just doesn't work. You have to grind it out. You need to bring in proper people, really engaged people, one by one, very slowly. And then you need to put in the time and the work to actually engage them, interact with them, and bring them value so they give a shit and they care enough to engage with your content. And that's exactly what I've done. And that's why my Instagram, at the time of recording, it's got about 3,300 followers or something like that. But I'm getting 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 plus comments on every single post. I'm getting more heartfelt, real engagement than some of the breakout stars that are rising right now and have impressive engagement themselves, but have 20 or 30,000 followers. And I'm definitely getting more engagement than the people with 100, 200, 300,000 followers. But as a ratio, their engagement sucks. They might be getting, 20, 10, 30 comments per post. And I love that. Not for them, like I want them to do well, but for me, I love being David, not Goliath. I love being the small underdog that has this close-knit, tight, hyper-engaged community. It's what I've been harping on for months, and I love that people are really starting to pay attention and see it play out now, where they're kind of like, whoa, like the engagement numbers are off the chain there, and that did not come from me giving away iPads and free shit to trick people into following me. So, question of the day is, have you ever done a giveaway? And be honest, because I have, and I regretted it. Let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching this episode. I appreciate you guys so much. I'm really enjoying the YouTube show. If you are too, then be sure to hit the subscribe icon and tick the little bell to get notifications when I post new content on this platform.